The last time we saw Ben Bogey, he was screwing off on a deck and showing off his carpentry skill with a nifty jig for consistent screw placement on many different areas of the deck. We also got to see his new smart hammer. Little did we know that Ben would be building the next model remodel project, which makes him the star of our new show, the Model Remodel Show. This year's project got an early start in the fall of 2016 when Ben called me to say that they were bringing in some excavation equipment to begin site work. So I hopped in the minivan to scope it out.
Hey Dan, what's going on? Oh, making a mess.
I thought we were going to start this in the springtime.
Well, we had a little issue. We ran out of water here, so the spring that this house was fed off of dried up, so we had to put a well in. It's up the hill here. And in the process, we had to bring the machine over to dig the trenches and the pit for the well guys, and decided to start boxing out our driveway and parking area.
A few issues with the building site caused this little house to have a lot of water problems. First, it sits at the bottom of a hill. Second, there were a lot of canopy trees that held a lot of moisture in the soil. Ben took these down a few months ago and noticed that the basement dried out substantially, so they decided that a curtain drain around the high side of the house wasn't necessary.
On the uphill side here, we have enough space that we can put in a bit of a swale to direct the water towards the backside of the property, as well as some of it out off of the driveway.
The third problem is that not only is the house at the bottom of a hill, it's in a hole.
And right there, what is the retaining wall for an old patio area, we were actually higher than the sill plate line of the house, which is part of the cause of some of the rot on the house. So we want to pay good attention right now to getting our grades right so that we can get the water away from the structure.
So Ben and Charles are basically digging their way out of a hole.
We're trying to box out and give ourselves proper grade away from the house so that the water's flowing away from the house, and start to establish an area to put in some gravel base for a parking area.
Then they'll put in a couple of swales, which will direct stormwater and groundwater away from the house. The first order of business is digging out enough to make a parking spot that they can fill with gravel, which will make a springtime job site a lot less muddy.
Right now what we're doing is laying out for what will be an initial parking area in front of a proposed garage down the line. Grade is pitched right back towards the house. It's actually at about sill plate line, so what we need to do is cut what looks like about a foot out of here and drop this so that we can get pitch away from the house. We're just basically setting benchmarks right now so that we know kind of where to take it down to begin with.
Charles places spikes outside the perimeter of the parking area. Then, he fires up his little excavator, beginning by scraping the sod off the topsoil. Sod is then piled off to the side. Rocks are also plucked up and piled separately for use in landscaping later on. This will become an extension of the driveway as a staging area during construction and a future garage some other day.
And I'm going to come off the back corner of my truck and I'm going to cut the topsoil out of that. That's going to kind of be the swoop into here for the driveway. So from there to there, I wanted to take the topsoil out of here just to give us more area for staging. So that's where I'm heading now.
Charles finishes scraping up the sod, and then he pushes it all into a pile. Now he can remove the topsoil and pile it off to the side where it can be used later for landscaping.
So right now we have topsoil stripped off of the area, most of the topsoil stripped off of the area, and we're getting down into our subsoils. And from that point, then we'll establish our elevations for final grade.
With about 8 inches of topsoil out of the way, Charles will need to remove another foot or so of subsoil, which will then be replaced with about 8 inches of gravel. Coming up next on the Model Remodel Show, Ben and his crew will demo this unfortunate little addition and dig a hole for a new one.
The foundation's only about 20-something inches deep, and we have 4-foot frost levels here in Connecticut. So we're gonna take this off, push it in so that the gable end of the house here becomes one plane, and bump an additional couple of feet towards the front of the house so that we can pick up some more room for a spacious bathroom and laundry area.
We've officially broken ground on the 2017 Model Remodel, digging our way out of a hole to avoid water problems down the road. Tune in this spring to follow along as we sketch out solutions to remodeling challenges and dig in to where the rubber meets the road.